How to become an audio engineer, brought to you by jobsearchchannel.com.
All right, what's going on today, guys? So today I want to talk to you about the question of what's a music producer agreement. I've been working in the music industry for over 10 years, though I'm still learning about music and the music industry every single day. It's one of those things when you get into music, you realize that things are ever changing, technology is constantly changing, and therefore you're going to be learning all the time. I got started in music because music's always been a major passion of mine. I started off as a singer and guitarist, playing in bands, doing small tours here across the US, and kind of wanted to get in on the other side to see what music production was all about. I did a few internships at some studios out here in LA, and now I have been working as a producer and composer full-time at a studio out here in Los Angeles. So I deal with tons of music producer agreements and such. You might want to know the answer to the question of what a music producer agreement is because you want to create a legal basis for the work that you are doing with a client as a music producer. You may also want to know because you're an artist who received a music producer agreement and you feel maybe a bit confused or thrown off by it, and you want to make sure that you're making the right decision in signing it, going through with it, or possibly making adjustments. In my experience, a music producer agreement is essentially a contract that regards record royalties, songwriting splits, ownership, sound exchange revenues, advances, and much, much more. A few things that you definitely want to look for when it comes to music producer agreements include who owns the masters. First of all, a producer rarely owns the masters unless, of course, he or she is the artist as well. So it really depends on who you're working with. If you're an artist and you're working with a producer, you should at least try your best to own the masters. They may take co-ownership on certain things, so it really depends on the situation. You'll also want to look for producer points in a music producer contract. Producer points are simply a percentage of record sales. So the industry standard for a producer is pretty much anywhere from 2 to 5% for points. These points can either be on PPD, which is published price to dealer, or SRLP, which is suggested retail list price. So when you are working with a producer, you will want to kind of come up with those points beforehand. You could meet them right in the middle at 3 or 4%, and usually that is just fine. A couple other points that a couple other bullet points, I guess, that you might find on a music producer agreement include sound exchange revenues, like I said before, co-writing agreements, and also producer payments. You know, how much you will be paying your producer, whether that payment is going to be put up against money that is earned later as some sort of an advance. There's tons of things, and it really depends on the agreement between the music producer and the artist. So music producer agreements and contracts can vary pretty greatly, but essentially when it comes down to it, it is simply a legal document that binds an artist and producer together to a project to ensure that the money is going where it needs to go when the project is all said and done. So very, very simple. Just make sure that you're not getting screwed over at any point, whether you are a music producer or an artist. Just make sure to read through the contract and have a good understanding of everything in the contract to make sure that you are getting a beneficial deal. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, be sure to check the description to get in touch with us. Take it easy.